Well, Aurelio, I guess congratulations on the appointment. How quickly did all of this develop? When did you get the call from Michael and when did you agree?
Well, I was actually cooking barbecue for the family on Monday afternoon and had a phone call from Michael and then spoke to management a few hours later. So it happened very, very quickly. But yeah, super excited. I think it's a great opportunity.
I mean, in terms of the opportunity, what is the opportunity? Is this a season-long audition for you for the full-time
Well, the contract is to the end of the year. That's what it is. So I'm going to give everything to get the team back to where it should be, and that's my responsibility. You never know where it's going to go from there. But there's no expectations past this year.
What are the expectations for this year coming in? Championship, premiership, what are we looking at?
Yeah, we need to get back to the top of the table. And I think that's what the DNA of this club has been for many, many years. You just have a look at the last 4 years, how successful the club has been, from their humble beginnings to where they are now. We're in a bit of a tricky situation at the moment. We have a good spot in the Champions League, but not a great performance over 2 games in the A-League. So we need to rectify that.
What's your impression been coming into this playing group? Was there discontent amongst them?
No, not at all. No, not at all. Look, it's always a difficult situation when a coach has been left behind and a new one comes in. But everyone's really, really positive. I think the group is really healthy. They've had a bit of a difficult time over the last couple of weeks. We're quite normal. The club has made a decision. And everyone's positive, looking forward to a tough next couple of weeks coming up, but it's something that we need to embrace. And it's a massive game tomorrow with 2 teams that are probably on the wrong side of the table. I said to the players that when I woke up, someone's actually turned the table upside down. Should be the other way. So our objective is to get ourselves back there and get some trust within everyone and start looking forward again.
What's the most immediate area that you need to work on? Because the team doesn't change coaches 2 rounds into the season if everything's peachy and all good. What needs fixed immediately in your view?
Well, look, I got here yesterday, so it's been a bit of a whirlwind last 24 hours. We had a session yesterday, we had another one today. I've kept things really basic in terms of what we need to achieve, but we need to get back to what this club was all about. Their DNA was a possession-based team, all the things that this club has been so successful in, creating a lot of chances, scoring a lot of chances. It probably hasn't happened in the last couple of home games. So we need just to get their confidence and get ourselves back to what this club has been all about.
You've seen in the A-League, it's been 13 years since your last coach in the A-League.
That long?
Yeah, how have you seen the competition develop, I guess, in your time away and now coming back into it?
Look, I think initially there was a lot of excitement and we probably around about 3 or 4 years later sort of hit a bit of a lull. And everything's sort of picking up now. I think the biggest difference that I've noticed is a lot of kids are getting more opportunity than they ever did. Initially, you had to be a pretty clever and special young player to get an opportunity, but I think now everyone's getting more of an opportunity. And I think it's, if you look at teams like especially Adelaide, I watch them closely, and what they've done over the last 3 or 4 years, giving the young kids an opportunity, you start to develop some very, very good players that could only be healthy, one, for the competition and also for our national teams.
Rado previously mentioned that playing young players was one of his KPIs as City coach. Is that the same for you? It's one of your KPIs to bring through young talent?
Well, there's some super young talent at the club already and in the squad. And again, if opportunities arise, they'll play. I think I've been clear with the players yesterday that performance is going to be paramount. So performing in training, and if you're performing in training, you should be able to perform in the games. And if you're not, then there's obviously a discussion about that, and then someone else gets the opportunity if they're not performing. The squad needs to be super competitive.
What about what goes with coaching? You've always been very honest in that seat in front of the microphones, sometimes too honest, maybe.
Probably too.
Are you looking forward to that side of it again?
Well, that's part of the job. Yep, that's part of the job, and probably why I get a lot of negative discussions, because I'm too honest. But that's me. That's part of my character. I'd rather be honest. There's no crap, and it's clear. And when it's clear, it's pretty it's pretty easy for everyone, and I'm super consistent with that.
You haven't mellowed then since the Adelaide days?
Of course, can't you see the grey hairs?
When you talk,
Look, you get a hell of a lot of experiences, and part of the coaching journey is experience. You know, from where I was 10, 13 years ago to where I am now is completely different.
Do you like Melbourne as a town?
Always loved Melbourne. There's a couple of cities here in Australia that I would love to live in, so I've got an opportunity to live in a really nice city. The weather's still the same though.
when you talked about competition in the squad and fighting for places, obviously the City team is one of the most well-credentialed. Some of the players in that squad have better resumes than most players around the competition. Have you basically come in and said, I don't care about that sort of stuff, the only thing that matters is how you're performing, it's a blank slate for everybody? How are you approaching dealing with this veteran, well-established side?
Well, resumes are just that. You know, what they've done in the past means absolutely nothing. It's what they're doing now. So that's been cleared to the playing group. It's an open situation. Guys who haven't had opportunities, it's clear everyone has an equal opportunity. And again, performance. If they're performing in the training, then they got the opportunity to play. It's pretty simple. It's not rocket science. We just need to get everyone on the same page, get back to playing a style that everyone has remembered Melbourne City as, and that is the job.
In terms of Jamie McLaren, obviously club captain, he'll be speaking to us in a couple of minutes. How's those initial conversations?
Brilliant. Yeah, really good. Yeah, I think that's probably one of my strengths, that I'm not shy to say what I think, sometimes to my own detriment, but I'm really honest, and you know, when there's something to say, I say it. I think the boys appreciate it. That way there it's clear, it's open, everyone knows where they're sitting, so that way there's no excuse. And management also spoke to the players yesterday about that. This club has been a club that it's a no excuse club. There shouldn't be any excuses. They have an enormous facilities out there at Casey Fields. They have everything that they possibly need to perform at a highest level, and that's what it's all about, and that's what we'll do.
When you talk about the City style, one of the things that has been noticeable about the successful period of Melbourne City was how they could just turn on the Jets, score 3 or 4 goals against a team in 20, 25 minutes and just ruthlessly kill them off. We maybe haven't seen that from this side in recent times. How do you as a coach go about finding that ruthless killer edge that just blows teams out the water? Well,
I won't find that tomorrow. So, look, it is a new group. When you lose, I can't remember exactly how many players it was. I think it was 7 or 8 from the starting 11 over the last couple of years. That's a massive hole. So we've had guys who come in who have replaced those players. So we haven't really gelled. From sitting on the outside, that's what it looks like. So it's about getting them to gel as quickly as possible, you know, and obviously there's been some injuries through the course of the pre-season and the early part of the season. People like Naboo and Lex, that you know, they're big outs for the group. So it's going to take a little bit of time. So I don't like to say that, yeah, we're going to wait a certain period, because we don't have any time. It's a tough schedule, especially over the next couple of weeks, where we've got to travel again, I think in about 10 days' time, and then there's probably two games on the bounce, Newcastle and Perth away. So pretty tough schedule, but that's what we signed up for. You want to play in the Champions League and you want to become champions, that's what it's all about. I would rather that than just sitting waiting to play 1 game per week. So exciting times. We put ourselves in a good position in the Champions League, probably another 4 points, I would say, qualifies for the round of 16. That would be a super effort. And now we need to translate that form of the Champions League back into the A-League.
So do you have Lex back for tomorrow?
No. He, I think a couple of weeks ago, he had a little setback with his knee. He's running, so yeah, it's just going to be monitored over the next couple of weeks.
How excited are you to get another crack at the Champions League? I mean, obviously 15 years ago now you had the amazing run with Adelaide, but now another opportunity opportunity to do something similar?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm blessed with the Champions League, but I had a pretty good run there. You know, we were very inexperienced at that point. Then with Bangkok Glass a couple of seasons ago, for their first time, we qualified for the round of 16 for the first time. So it's a competition that I love. You know, 10, 13 years ago, whatever it was, that no one really knew too much about it. And so that first year was, you know, let's suss it out and see what it's like. But and then that sort of grew from there. And the year that we made the final, that was just an enormous run. I think last week we had a 20-year reunion at Adelaide, and all those nice memories came flooding back. So it was nice.
You've got existing history with Michael from your days at Adelaide. Did that make it easier to say yes when he called, and also does that give you, I guess, a softer landing here in Sydney, given that you have an existing relationship with the director of football coming into January and all of these sort of things?
Yeah, well, the one thing with Michael, that we've had a great relationship for many, many years. And you know, he was the football director, or first the CEO at Adelaide and then the football director at Adelaide. And we have a great synergy. We've always had that. And I think that's important. And I know that at any time that Michael needs to say something to me, that I won't get offended, that he'll come and tell me. And I feel the same way. I can do exactly the same to him. So when you know you have that synergy, and when you know that you have that support, it makes the job a lot easier. Don't get me wrong, it's a very difficult profession, and you never know where it's going to go. But when you have, one, the resources, two, the right people and the synergy behind you, then a lot of things are taken care of.
And assistants Scott Jamieson and Peter Kratky-Checky remain in situ at the club.
Yep.
Do you have existing relationships with either of them, and how do you expect that relationship to work?
No, obviously the only one is Scott, that we 13 years ago, 14 years ago it was, that we brought him back from I think it was in England. Yep, correct, and got him playing back in Adelaide. So that was the relationship that we first had. He's going now into a coaching career path, which is great. He's got a lot of respect at the club. Peter didn't know at all. I heard a lot of things about him, and they're going to be extremely valuable staff. And in fact, I don't know how many people I've met at the club. I reckon it could be about 1,000. So, you know, there's so many staff, so many great people. So the resources that they have there gives you every chance to succeed. So, yeah, just getting used to all those guys. But I'm going to lean very much, especially over the next few days and this week, with Scott and Peter and their analyst and our goalkeeper coach, Mike. So they've been here for quite a while. So, you know, we need to head in the direction. Everything needs to be clear, and those guys are going to play a pivotal role.
Briefly on tomorrow, it's pretty normal for teams to
Oh, there's a
come in.
game tomorrow.
Yeah, no, like, it's pretty normal for teams to come in pretty revved up after, you know, say, a coach departs. What do you expect? And what do you expect from Sydney FC? You sort of alluded to it before, they're under the pump as well.
Both two teams are desperate. You know, they haven't started well, and neither have we. And so it's you want to call it a 6-pointer game. You know, we are 0 points and minus 5 or 6 goals. For me, that's 9 to 12 points that you need to start to catch up, and that's not easy. So we really got to get our skates on. And it's always a big game against Sydney. They've got some great quality players, and Bimby will get them fired up as well. So, yeah, going to be certainly for the first game with very little preparation from my part. Going to be a massive game, but we need to show a reaction. You know, if you don't get a reaction, there's something wrong, especially what happened last week. Sure, they're hurting, and I wouldn't expect anything else. So we're as ready as we can be. You know, we've gone through a few things over the last couple of days, and I just expect top performance, and we're going to have to build on from that. So we're going to get a lot from this game, and then again, we've got a quick turnaround on Wednesday against Buriram, and then again a quick turnaround against Macarthur. So you know, not a hell of a lot of time to work on the training pitch, but enough to give them details every day to see an improvement.
Tolgay and Curtis, they missed the Adelaide game. Are they right to come back in?
Correct.
They are. Good.
Well, good guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Good to see you.